Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 13th, and today we're going to be taking a look at this atmospheric river bearing down on the Pacific Northwest. We'll take a look on into our extended as well as some drought and landslide concerns across the region. We'll take a look at the rest of the country. Not much going on, really. All the action here is in the Pacific Northwest for the short term. You can see the Gulf of Alaska low out here spinning on the water vapor imagery. You'll see the subtropical tap go all the way back into the western Pacific, Guam, and the Philippines. This moisture streaming all the way across the ocean. This is going to get incorporated in our atmospheric river tonight and tomorrow and on into later this week with the system that comes in later on in the week. And we got some cold air behind the system coming in for Tuesday. It's going to bring some mountain snows and perhaps some convergent zone activity across the region. So we'll dive into this now. Here's the visible imagery. You can see there's some wave action going on over the Cascades if you look closely in here. So if you're on the eastern slopes of eastern Washington Cascades, you'll probably see some of that action if you look closely enough. We had some nice sunshine this morning, but the clouds, of course, are moving in. You can see the high clouds moving in from the next system on its way. Got some decent light to moderate showers moving across the region right now. No lightning expected currently. And you can see this wave action down here over the Oregon Cascades as well. So checking out the rest of the country, you can see just the fire danger here. Still have the freeze warning down for the southeast. A few winter weather advisories elsewhere. And high wind warnings there for the Rockies, the east slopes there on into Montana. And you can see winter weather advisory for portions of the Cascades, hydraulic outlook for portions of western Washington as well. Taking a look at the NAM 3KM high resolution model here, you can see the showers going through now, and right on the heels of those is the next system coming in here Monday morning. You can see the prolonged area of precipitation all the way from western Washington, British Columbia down in towards Oregon. And Oregon really gets targeted pretty well with this atmospheric river. This is a category 2 atmospheric river. It's longer than 24 hours, and it should have values of more than 500 on the vertically integrated liquid scale that I'll show you here coming up. And then as we go into the future here, this is Tuesday morning. You can see we go up more westerly flow behind with some convergent zone activity, some mountain snows going on through the Washington, Oregon Cascades up into British Columbia, Olympic Mountains getting their fair share too as we go into Tuesday night. Now taking a look at the wind here, it looks like the wind will pick up a little bit as we go on into tomorrow morning, especially north up towards San Juan's, Port Townsend, Puget Sound area there, and along the Washington coast. Picks up a bit, but it's nothing to write home about. There's no wind advisories or wind warnings up as we stand right now. And then you can see this kind of westerly flow come in Tuesday morning through the region. That brings that cold air, and it's going to bring some good mountain snows. And you can see that wind pick up there over eastern Washington as well as the flow turns westerly. So checking out here, this is convective available potential energy, or as we know, or is known as CAPE. And I wanted to show you this going into Tuesday. Check out this cold air and a lot of instability coming in with this. We might even get a lightning strike there during the late morning or early afternoon here through portions of western Washington, even through eastern Washington. You see the Cape builds up fairly nicely there. Pretty good lobe of cold air aloft moving over the region, which we'll look at here in a minute. And this is the NAM again here. Maybe we'll just concentrate. Let's see how much of this gets down towards California. They've had a normally dry winter down here through the Central Valley too, which is going to hamper some of that agriculture going on through California. As you see this atmospheric river get about as far as the Bay Area here and really kind of cuts off, gets the Sierras here pretty good and brings some precip to the Intermountain West and the Nevada area as we get our chilly air moving in aloft over the Pacific Northwest here. So let's take a look at some of the snowfall totals that we can expect too. So this is going into Monday night. You can see for the higher terrain, some pretty good snows coming through the Washington Cascades, British Columbia coastal range, and the Rockies get their fair share as well. Some pretty good totals coming for the North Cascades here. And check out down by Mount Rainier, a pretty good bullseye for them too as we go into Thursday morning here. And the Olympic Mountains getting in on that action also. So this is at 10,000 feet, 700 millibars. This shows this atmospheric river, this fairly warm air coming up with that. That's how an atmospheric river works. This warm air ahead of it. And then as the front passes into Tuesday morning, you see that lobe of cold air get over us. And that's when it's going to bring this chance for a lightning strike, maybe through western Washington, eastern Washington, and bring some mountain snowfall here through Thursday. As you can see that cold air depart. And then the next system will be back in here, but we'll look at that here in a minute in the extended. Now here is that integrated vapor transport here on the GFS. This is how an atmospheric river is measured. And you can see we have some values out in this river right now of close to 800. And so we're going to be over 24 hours, 800, if you're 24 hours plus and 500 plus, it's category 2. 750 of 24 hours plus is actually category 3, but I don't think we're going to get there because you see these values stay mainly off the coast. Looks like we get up towards 500 for some of the coastal areas. So generally a category 2 lasts for about 36 hours. As you can see, it moved through the region there. It starts officially about tonight, probably anytime after 5 p.m. And then you can see 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36 hours, and then it gets out of here. And then you can see the next system on its heels out here. That's going to bring us some precipitation across Pacific Northwest as well, as another deep low moves across the Gulf of Alaska. Now here's precipitable water. This is the European, this is the Pacific Ocean. Here's Alaska, here's Russia, Japan, and you can see Hawaii out here, and you can see this fetch extend all the way back towards Guam, Micronesia, Philippines. Put this into motion. You can see this atmospheric river hitting us here as the Gulf of Alaska low kind of steers that into our area and really takes aim at the Oregon coast and finally cuts off into Tuesday morning. And put this into motion here, and you can see the next system on its heels come into the Pacific Northwest late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's still got that fetch well back into the subtropics here, so it takes aim at us there. Now, taking a look at this, you can see that's where Guam is here, and then you can see how that's extended all the way back across towards the Western Pacific. So impressive fetch of moisture headed towards the Pacific Northwest. And here are the rainfall totals. So watch these build up here as we go into the future. We're already getting, you're probably looking at some 5+ inch areas here, especially the rainforest area, the Hoh Rainforest, Vancouver Island, up towards the coast of BC, down through the Oregon coast, getting some pretty good totals. And you can see the cutoff there really at the Bay Area north. And some of the precipitation gets into the Sierra Nevada there. So let's check out the extended a little bit here too. Here went the system that we moved through today. And then you can see the Gulf of Alaska load. It's kind of steering this atmospheric river into our area here. Finally moves through the area into Tuesday morning. And we get that cold air behind it. And you can see we get clipped by systems as we go. But right now, the models aren't showing any kind of major windstorm. Another system coming in through late next weekend there. And another system on its heels moves into British Columbia. But no big windstorm in the models since a few days ago when the European had a strong system moving through Washington. But we'll keep an eye out on that. There's a chance that could change. There's several systems moving through the extended here, so there's plenty of time for that to change. Here's Whidbey Island. We talked about those winds going through tomorrow night. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing like like they haven't seen a few times this winter, of course. And Seattle, you can see going into Tuesday evening, just blustery winds up towards 30 miles per hour probably. You can see the mean is right around 30 here. You can see a smattering of higher winds out in the extended here and some of the random ensemble runs, but nothing that really gets my attention too much. But that can change pretty quickly here, so we'll keep an eye on that. And here is Seattle. This is 24-hour precipitation total. So you can see our atmospheric river moving through here into Tuesday morning, then another system coming in Thursday or Friday, and then another one on the heels of that later on into next week, and then perhaps another one. But this is getting pretty far into fantasy line. It starts to look a little bit drier there going into the end of March, though. We'll keep our eye on that. Here's the drought monitor. You can see really we're trying to get moisture into eastern Oregon there, but it's tough with these west moving systems. These get wrung out and the moisture falls in the west slopes of the Cascades and just doesn't really get much into eastern Washington. And again, this system's going to clip the Spokane area and out towards Ritzville a bit, again, with some nice precipitation totals. So it's going to help eat away some of that severe drought and this moderate drought going on in eastern Washington, but not much help for eastern Oregon. And you can see we've got severe drought all the way down through California. Nevada is under some exceptional and extreme drought as well as Montana. So, and it looks like this really cuts off there. So not much relief for Nevada here coming up in the future. Now, this is based on landslide potential. This is cumulative precipitation in the last 15-day period. You can see that Seattle and Tacoma are still above the red line where landslides are possible. And I saw out bike riding today at Des Moines Creek Trail, I saw a couple landslides out there, probably from the last atmospheric river. It timed up well with that. But you can see a lot of the area, Seattle South, is still pretty, the soils are really wet. And when I'm out and about, I can see a lot of the water still seeping through the hillsides. And so with this atmospheric river coming up, there is still potential for landslides. As you see here, we're going to add to this total here, and some of these slopes on this higher terrain is still at risk. So heads up, mainly Seattle south for that landslide potential. But I may not do a video tomorrow, depending on what's going on, but we'll take a look at things here. And again, atmospheric river tonight into Monday, Tuesday morning, that colder air loft's going to be moving in. Mountain snow will be coming through. Late morning Tuesday, we could be expecting a lightning strike around the region. Some precipitation, easing that drought in eastern Washington, but not much relief for eastern Oregon. And again, this subtropical air mass has a tap all the way back to the western Pacific, and that's making its way all the way into western Washington. So some warm temperatures, warm, muggy, and wet, and then we're going to get colder air here coming in on Tuesday. So I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys are enjoying the rainfall tonight, and hope you look forward to the mountain snows. We're going to have several systems moving through the next couple of weeks, and watch out for that landslide potential if you're Seattle south through western Washington. So I'll talk to you guys later.